Greetings and salutations, citizens of the Imperium. Welcome to Let's Paint. I am your host, Trooper 6, and today we've got something very special. This miniature is coming to you from Board Game Boss, and I am going to be using him, as you saw from the thumbnail, to paint him as Sir Ulrich von Liechtenstein from the wonderful movie A Knight's Tale. Now, how's everybody doing? Everybody doing good? Good in the hood? Maybe you don't live in a neighborhood. Maybe you live out in the middle of the woods. Excuse me. Hell, half the city thinks we do. Just because we'd be on the countryside of town, and there are places more secluded than us. So, who here likes A Knight's Tale? You like Heath Ledger? Hell, that's probably what I should have started with. Do you like Heath Ledger? If so, have you seen his work? Or have you seen him in A Knight's Tale? It's a fantastic, fantastic film. I believe it was my introduction also to Alan Tudyk. And I want to say Paul... No. Actually, Paul Bettany was not my introduction there. I think current day Paul Bettany, that was my introduction. No, my introduction to Paul Bettany, I was not aware, was when I was a child, and it was in Muppet Christmas Carol. I adore that movie. But yeah, he plays Scrooge's nephew. And I never really put that together. And I swear, if I'm actually wrong about that, that would be not exactly embarrassing, because who the hell cares? But well, damn. Either way, so like apparently there was this misconception that Benedict Cumberbatch was in A Knight's Tale, and we looked into it. He was not. It's just one of the actors just kind of looks like him. You'd mistaken him for a young one. Not to say that Mr. Cumberbatch is old or anything. But if you have not seen A Knight's Tale, I highly recommend this. This comes from my personal recommendations, not even like as a parent. This is something that I personally loved. I mean, hell, when I had the DVD way back when I was younger, I would leave it in the DVD player. There were a few movies that I did this to. I left it in the DVD player what seemed like a month at a time, and A Knight's Tale was definitely one of them. You know, you wake up in the middle of the night to roll over, and you can hear the menu music just on repeat, but you're almost too tired to even care. But it's also comforting, so you just kind of leave it. Kind of becomes like a lullaby, a nighttime kind of thing. A Knight's Tale is definitely one of those. So was... oh my god, what is... Monsters, Inc. Yeah. Monsters, Inc. ended up being one of those for me as well. So we're not getting too much of the underside of this horse. We're just getting enough to where when the shadows hit and whatnot, you're not going to be seeing every single angle of this model anyway. Alright. But still, I did want to also say this model did have antlers on the helmet, and they were beautiful. I saved them, but I did remove them. Now, why the hell would I remove them? Well, because I'm doing Sir Ulrich von Liechtenstein, and, well, he doesn't have antlers on his damn helmet. And this was about as close as we were going to get it. We were thinking about as in me and my wife, were thinking about doing green stuff for a shield for his first armor when he had Sir Ector's armor. And when the model came in, I was looking at the angle of his arm, and I was like, nah, I'm all right. We'll just go with Sir Ulrich's second armor, his Mark II, his thinned or his slimmer armor. But yeah, man, if you have not seen that movie, it's fantastic. It does a fantastic job getting its little story across. It's kind of a classic cliche. Poor country boy, peasant, not destined to do much, decides to risk his life and is basically the life of his friends to fake being a nobleman. And he enters in all the jousting tournaments that happen across Europe, and they go on tour, and his quest is to change his stars, as his father told him he could. It was to change his stars and lead a better life than his father did, who was a peasant. Heath Ledger, acts opposite of another favorite actor of mine who I've not seen in many things. Only 2 roles that I can absolutely confirm off the top of my head. That actor is Rufus Sewell. If I'm mispronouncing his name, just, my apologies to him, but give me a break for a second. I first saw him, well, I saw the movie second, but I saw the trailer of it first, before I'd seen A Knight's Tale. So, Mr. Rufus I had seen before, but not actually seen the movie. And that other movie was Dark City. I absolutely adore that movie. If you ever want to see that movie, please, for the love of God, watch the director's cut. All right, do not watch the theatrical cut. It spoils everything in the opening monologue that just doesn't need to be there. It tells you everything. So the movie, all the suspense and all the mystery that the characters experience, you don't feel any of that. You're not going to feel any of it if you already know what the hell is happening. If you already know what the story is. It's kind of what the point. Not even a what the hell. It's a what the point was that. So, be careful with that. But I do adore that movie. It's so good. It's so good. Woo. Sorry, we were up so early today that, as backwards as it might sound, we didn't have time for coffee. Woo-ba-doo-ba-doo-boo-boo. But here we go, man. I'm excited to be doing this one. This is a very different idea that I had, because while I was on my quote-unquote hiatus during my end of the year, New Year, Christmas break that I had taken, I was off the air for maybe 2 weeks, and that was it. But still, during that time, I was feeling a little restless because I wasn't recording, so I was trying to figure out, all right, well, if I'm not going to be recording or anything, I might as well just think of what I will do. And I started creating thumbnails for everything, and Well, my son is very much into A Knight's Tale right now. He was obsessed. Not exactly obsessed, I guess, but he loved and still loves, Pixar Cars. Absolutely adores it, to the point where we were making autism jokes. I was like, "Damn, good, you are so hyper focused." And if he was autistic, I wouldn't care, and I wouldn't be shocked either. Not with his combination of genes from me and Mama. Hell, the joke has been there that I'd been autistic all these years, and guess what? I ain't gonna self-diagnose. I'm not that stupid. And no doctor has ever said otherwise, and I really couldn't care less. It's not gonna change anything these days. But regardless, he absolutely loves the Cars stuff. And then one day I'd seen that A Knight's Tale was available on Amazon, and I was like, you know what? Hell yeah! So I put that on. I was like, guys, just trust it. They were resistant at first, as kids usually are, to something new. They're like, what's this? I want my same movie that I've been watching over and over and over. Naturally. But what did we do? We sat there, and it. Once the movie gets going, Queen kicks in. We Will Rock You. It's Queen. It caught my children's attention, and ever since that scene, they sat and they watched the damn movie. And of course, my boy got up because he's 2, and he was just like, "Oh hell yeah!" And he wasn't actually saying "hell yeah," but still, grabbed whatever he could, slapped it on his head, grabbed like a back scratcher, and just started charging around. And we've been jousting ever since. And I figured, you know what? I wonder if I could find a jousting knight. And if it's not jousting, at least one that is carrying a lance. And what do you know? Board Game Boss on Etsy had this beautiful model. He had another one too. He, she, I don't know who you are, but they had another model as well. Another jousting knight, and I liked it. But I liked this one more. I was like, I'm gonna stick with my guns. I'm gonna get that one. It's just the one that kind of felt right, made sense. All that goodness. Just trying to make sure I use up all the brown before I get more out. We've been using the Oak Brown by Army Painter. It is very good, of course, for a base coat for wood. Rich brown coloring, and then you can dry brush your various other stuff. You know how I like to do. I go down the flesh tones, and I dry brush, and I edge highlight, and there you go. Hell, that's the exact plan for the outhouse mimic that we're going to do eventually. It's already primed brown. All I have to do is dry brush and edge highlight the hell out of it, and there you go. All right, so it looks like the horse is more or less finished. Yeah. Horse is more or less finished. Okay. All right, so Ulrich von Liechtenstein having his certain color scheme. We're going to go with the elven flesh for the drapery of the horse. The reason for that is the coloring that they all use. It's a period piece. They're not going to have flashy coloring. He was supposed to be a poor country knight that he was, faking to be. There were a lot of tans, beiges, whatever you want to call it. All the various brown tones. earthy tones and everything. And we can always paint over this, but I think this is the color that we're going to go with, and it's going to be lightened up anyway. And it will go on kind of thin when it comes to gray, and you're going to see a lot of brush strokes, especially if we are not thinning the paints or watering them down. You're using a wet palette. Any of the proper advanced methods that we should be using and implementing here today. And as you can see, we're doing something else. But the texture that this might provide for us is not necessarily going to be a bad thing. If anything, we could use that because at the time period, man, they were not riding out into battle in fucking silks. Oh, they had sturdy cloth going. Whatever they were making their stuff out of, right? So it'll give us some kind of texture, and we could always use that to work with us. Now the cape on his back I was going to do as an off-white to represent the token that Jocelyn gives him, kind of early midway through the movie, when she finally decides to send him word of her name. Jocelyn being, of course, the royal woman of interest. She's not a princess. If I remember looking into it, she's not necessarily a princess. They keep calling her princess, but apparently she's not. She's just a noble woman. She comes from a noble family. So her family is important of some sorts. So. How the hell has everybody been? I hope they've been liking the assortment of miniatures that we've been having lately. I don't know if you guys could see with this light how different this paint is coming out in the thinner spots. And like I said, that is okay, because then we're painting over it and over and over it, and it's going to give us more of a grainy look. And that's okay. With each layer that we're going to put on there, one, it'll solidify most of the coloring and everything. We're obliterating this brush. But don't worry, folks. As Bigelow in The Rocketeer once said, it's all part of the show. All right. Yeah, shout out to anyone who's seen The Rocketeer. I love that movie. I thought about doing a Rocketeer miniature, and I still might, because there's some pretty decent looking ones, and they look a little more traditional in the sense, a little cleaner, not like hyper detail. It looks like it could be your average D&D piece. It's not as detailed like this. And these things, man, these things come out so nice. Like, for real, I believe I've mentioned it before that we'd been talking about getting a 3D printer and doing our own. One day, it's just not on my priority list. Things keep getting adjusted no matter what. Every time we want to try to move forward with something, it's not exactly that we're getting a setback, but I am having to put things off a little bit. That's okay, though. It just means it's probably not the right time yet. Oh, I didn't realize I was all up off the camera all that time. I'm sorry, guys. All right. Let's see. Something I was thinking about the other day was I've been enjoying the fact that I don't take a traditional approach when it comes to painting. As you can see here. All right, you see how back here all this fresh paint now not filled in. It looks empty. It looks with the gray streaking through with all the brush strokes. All right, these are clear, perfect examples of why a wet palette would definitely help, or just simply thinning your paints, even if that means taking your brush, getting some paint, and then just dipping the tip in the water. Even just as simple as that, it can go a long way. And we are not doing it kind of on purpose here. So like I said, I'm willing to work with the strokes of the brush. I'm willing to work with the graininess that will be left with the fabric. As hell, dude, I want it to look like fabric. And I don't need it to look like, silk, fine goods. All right. There we go. There we go. Now what we should do is hit that underside as well. And we'll close things off here in just a moment, now that I've realized that we're over time. And that's okay. That's okay. But sincerely, I really hope that you guys have been enjoying our lineup so far. I don't have my schedule laid out in front of me, so I think at this point you're still going to be seeing the Retributors. Ooh, I dropped some water right there. Look at that. Look at that. All right. Let me get a little something. Just a little paper towel. Come on. Get in there. Get in there. Right. Thank you. Okay. You know what? We're going to just probably call it right about here. All right. I will touch up the rest of the underside. Until then, or I guess until the next time that I see you guys, I hope that you're happy and healthy. I really hope and pray that the Void Father guides your brushes in all of your endeavors. This is going to be one hell of a journey. I'm hoping. World gets pretty stressful. But y'all know what's important. Y'all know what matters. So everything's different to everyone, but y'all know what matters. I just need you to hold on to that. All right. So again, until then, see you guys on the next round. Stay happy and healthy. Void Father, guide their brushes. Later, everybody.